Hello, it is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. I am Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Tuesday puzzle today, so hopefully we'll be in for something that is roughly similarly difficult to yesterday's Monday puzzle, maybe a touch more challenging, but still themed. And this themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by, by Joe Percy, Joseph Schwalbach, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster and the invaluable Timothy Mark. So thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for bringing us this edition of the Daily Solve. And I do very much appreciate those contributions. If you'd like to join their ranks as a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. And of course, there you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date and the new ones that go up each week, like the most recent Constructor's Corner community-created puzzle solve and the mini puzzle speed solve. And thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for your contributions. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel on YouTube. I appreciate that as well. We're actually really, haven't looked today, but I think we're ticking quite close to 8,000, which is very exciting. So thank you to everybody new and returning who has subscribed. And there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server. You can find a link in the description field underneath the video to chat with other members of this community. It's a nice place. All right, let's move on to today's puzzle. Like I said, this is a Tuesday puzzle. It was constructed by Ella Dershowitz and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Ella Dershowitz has constructed a small handful of puzzles for the New York Times. And I can already see we have some circled cells in store for us, so I suspect we will be spelling thematic words and concepts, which is always very exciting. And they seem vertically symmetrically disposed, these strings of circled cells. So we'll see if that carries through. And it does. We have 4 little strings of circled cells, and they are horizontally and vertically symmetrically arranged around the grid, which is radially symmetrical. Okay, anyway, doesn't particularly matter, just observing. A camping trip rental. What does one rent on a camping trip? A van, perhaps? Never been worn. If something has never been worn, it's new. And device associated with the advice, be kind, rewind. A VCR. That phrase lent its name to a film that I actually never saw. It was a Michel Gondry film, maybe? Gotcha would be aha. And to devalue something is to cheapen it. Jewelry under a sock, perhaps. Jewelry under a sock. I'm not sure what that's getting at, sorry. Material much used for Indian dresses. Is it raw wool? And people who might bug others. Oh, are spies maybe? Maybe it's not raw wool. A spy might put a listening device on somebody. Well, it'll end with an S, regardless, probably. What about this? Mononymous king of football. Oh, Pelé? I know that Pelé is one of the... I know that he is mononymous, meaning he has he's known by a single name, and he is one of the great footballers, in this case, association football, soccer, one of the great footballers of all time. I do know that, so I suspect that's the answer. Me-day destination is a spa. And, yeah, this does look like spies. Jewelry under a sock. Oh, I see, an anklet. I see, very clever. I was thinking some kind of pouch for the jewelry, but no, this is a bit more clever than that. The anklet you're wearing might be under your sock. So material much used for Indian dresses, raw silk. Sorry, that makes much more sense. I was thinking, what's going on? So, newsies. Oh, newsies is the word spelled out in this string. So perhaps we'll be spelling musicals. I think newsies is a musical. I think. That sounds like something that I know of. Anyway, what good art can make you do? It could make you feel something, perhaps. To the extent that, that I have any knowledge of musicals broadly. I do think I remember that Newsies is one. Creatures in a pod. Creatures in a pod. Orca, a pod of whales, a pod of orcas. Collective noun. Or maybe not a generic collective noun, but some kind of a group specifically. Baby deliverers for short. OBs? Obstetricians? Is that? I'm not sure. Let's keep looking. Wild hog is a boar. Okay, so that's probably correct. Some best buds. And slander. To slander somebody is to soil their good name. What is this? What about this? Comfort. And kids party game, or kids party game, or a hint to this puzzle's circled that, is it musical chairs? Are we I see. We're creating the shape of people sitting in chairs out of musicals. We have these little stylized people. I mean, perhaps these are the chairs themselves, but since they don't have rear legs, they look to me more like the outline of the person sitting in the chair. And anyway, they're constructed out of musicals. Now, you could interpret it as the chair if you wish. All right, so yes, we are going to be spelling more musicals. There we have it. Fish that's an ambush predator, an eel, I believe. It's spring out. And there might be a ring to it. I'm not sure. What about this? Bit of gear for a talk show host. They could wear a lapel mic, a lavalier mic, the kind that clip on to your clothing. First in a convoy. Lead car? Lead van? Actually, no, we already have, we put van in the crossword almost immediately, so won't be that, I don't think. Lead car, probably. Online retailer whose last sale was a broken laser pointer. What? Oh, whose first sale, did I say last? Online retailer whose first sale was a broken laser pointer. How strange. Was it eBay? What a funny fact. It's interesting, I suppose, that all of these musicals will need to be, 7 letters in length. Yeah. It's always interesting to imagine. I've never created a crossword. I've never attempted to. And I always imagine when making a themed crossword, you must have to come up with big lists of things that fit whatever requirement you've set. In this case, finding musicals that all share that same number of letters, or I suppose determining what musicals, what length of word is common in musicals and could be put into a crossword. Okay, stop in French is arrête, I think. Or maybe it's arrêt. I think this is better. To stop, arrêt, I think. Gave the once-over, eyed. And if we were well informed of a situation, you're abreast of it. Ah, so this looks like Cabaret, the musical. Great. Okay, Cabaret, there we have it. And exactly right, you're dead on. Cabaret is a musical. Provider of moral support is a moral support. A parable, yes. So a story that contains some kind of instructive message or moral support. There we go, moral support, exactly. Silent communication for short. American Sign Language in this case. And a GPS path is a route. There we go. Oops. Took to an auto impound is towed, a vehicle. A crime boss is a don, as in a mafia don. McKeon or McEwen, Ian McKellen or Ian McEwen, the actor or author. And parodist Yankovic Weird Al. Right, there we go. Weird Al Yankovic, the parodist songwriter. Emperor whose mother was Agrippina the Younger was Nero, Emperor Nero. And deletion would be erasure, removal of something. Classic lollipop with a mystery flavor. What about this? Condition that affects executive function in brief. With that H, I'm thinking ADHD. Oh no, ADHD, right. Attention deficit hyper disorder, is that what it is? I think so. Okay, writer Janowitz. Tama? There might be a ring to it. An ear loop? Not sure. You must be this tall to ride. Amusement park sign, that looks right. Mer contents would be eau, as in water in the sea. La mer, the sea. And also the name of a classic song. A classic lollipop with a mystery flavor. Oh, Dum Dum Dum. That's right. I remember those. They were the sort of very tiny lollipops, I think. I don't remember mystery flavor. To go really, really wrong is to... I don't know. And Boys to Men, it's the band. I've seen them perform live. To trim is to pair. And wrench handle, Allen wrench. So in this case, we have the question mark indicating a bit of pun or wordplay, and handle means name rather than the physical handle of the wrench. It means your handle, what you're known by, and the sort of that hexagonal wrench type that's often used in assembling, for instance, prefabricated furniture, such as that IKEA sells, is an Allen wrench, or in the UK, an Allen key. In any case, the handle is Allen. Very good. To go really, really wrong. Oh, to implode, perhaps. No wonder I didn't see what that was right offhand. And bedside buzzer would be an alarm clock. Oh, Aladdin. Is there a musical version of Aladdin? There must be. I think I've probably seen ads for that on the tube or whatever. Greenpeace, e.g., in brief, is an NGO, I think, a non-governmental organization. That's my guess. Could also be a non-profit organization, but that is less common, I've found, as an initialism. So does this work? Yes. Video call annoyance would be lag. And an angsty genre would be emo. New York Times does love the emo genre. It fits in the crossword well, apparently. To hold lovingly, oh, I was going to say cradle. Could be swaddle, as in swaddle a baby. What about this? Announcement upon a late arrival. Here I am. I was thinking these EIA looked odd, but it's because they belong to three separate words. Has an open tab, say. Owes, you owe money, you have an open tab, you've not yet paid. And a belief system, you could call it an ism. Nihilism, lack of belief, I guess. Not a lack of belief, but carpe diem is, oh, and it's funny. It's a hashtag here. So it's sort of, that's funny. So carpe diem meaning seize the day, but it's in this hashtag format, which means it's applying a more modern slang slant to it. And indeed, the answer is YOLO, you only live once, which is a very current, in the last several years, sort of phrase. Waves, perhaps. Says hi. And so hold lovingly is indeed swaddle. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of those as tight synonyms, but perhaps there is I should look up swaddle and see if that is included. Excuse me. Okay, crunchy wasabi-coated morsel. You could have wasabi-coated peas. And, oh, there might be a ring to it. Your earlobe. You may have your earlobe pierced with a ring, an ear ring. And so writer Janowitz is indeed Tama, and I think we saw everything else, yes. Okay, sites of frequent touchdowns. Airports. Often planes. Oops, oh no, I'm just double typing everything. Airports. That is where planes will touch down. And planets poetically are orbs. Canyon rebound would be an echo. Your voice could echo in a canyon. Comfort is soothe. And a tech executive could be a chief information officer, perhaps, CIO. Oh, comfort is solace, right. So I was looking for, you always have to watch out for this. I was looking for comfort as a verb, to comfort somebody. But in fact, here we're looking for comfort as a noun. You found comfort. You found solace in the when being swaddled, held lovingly. And so just always remember, if you can't think of a synonym for a word, try and consider other parts of speech for that word. Okay, slander, calumny. And some best buds are roomies, maybe? Roommates? I suppose. Those things aren't necessarily the same, but I suppose that's why it says some best buds might be your roomies as opposed to just best buds, which would be inaccurate. Asset when playing skee-ball would be your aim, I suppose. Skee-ball, I think that's the one where you sort of roll the ball up a ramp and it flies up and lands in some concentric circles, I think. So anyway, I think that's skee-ball. Writer Rand would be Ayn Rand of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, the objectivist novelist. And Bye 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 boy band, this looks like NSYNC, the, I guess, early 2000s band. Hankerings are Yens, and movie theater morsel with white sprinkles. I don't know. What about this? Doorbell sound. A clang? That's not really how I would describe a doorbell. A chime. There we go. Much better. Oh, this looks like Chicago. Yes, it is. Okay, I was going to go back up, but I just happened to see more likely to daydream, say, would be spacier. You spaced out. You're daydreaming. What happens now? Oh, sorry. What happened now? Oh, no. Yeah, that really changes the meaning, doesn't it? Movie theater morsel with white sprinkles. Snacks. Snocks. Obviously not. Like scotch served without ice. Well, if you serve a spirit without ice, you serve it neat. Place for a poser. A yoga mat. And virtual critters since 1999. Could be pets, some kind. And then snow caps. Right, okay. I don't think I've ever had snow caps, but I think I've seen them before, maybe. The Raven Poet would be Edgar Allan Poe, and dictionary listing would be a synonym, I suppose. Usually you think of the ones in the dictionary as being definitions and the ones in the thesaurus as being synonyms, but often a definition is simply a synonym. So that's fair enough. So virtual critters since 1999. Oh, Neopets. Okay. I was almost going to guess Geopets, so I'm glad I didn't put that in. Neopets. And then I think we've looked at all of the other crosses here. Oh, we didn't look at this. A long, long time ago. There we go. Okay. And no. Oh, I typed Geopets after all of that. What am I doing? Sorry. There we go. It was Neopets and synonyms. Geopets is not a synonym for Neopets. Okay, so there we have it. We have our crossword, a nice, tidy theme and grid with a fully symmetrically arranged set of musical chairs. Newsies, Cabaret, Chicago, and Aladdin are spread throughout our puzzle. And we have a nice sort of grid arrangement. The black squares in the grid. It's I don't think it's meant to depict anything. It's just it's a nice little pattern. And I think a good solid puzzle. And indeed, I think it was quite approachable. It was definitely on the easy side, which is exactly what you'd want in an early week puzzle and a Tuesday puzzle in this case. And very good. And I was able to. Definitely wasn't able to fill this in before, I think, fully crossing it. I think it took the entire fill to understand that this was Newsies, but once we did, it was actually a good choice for the first of these four, because Newsies is much more necessarily a musical than Cabaret, Chicago, or Aladdin, all of which are either ordinary words like cabaret, a sort of typical noun, or proper nouns, Chicago and Aladdin, whose primary meanings are not musicals. Whereas Newsies, I mean, I know that's a slang term unto itself, but I think it's probably most often used these days as the musical, because I think the slang term newsie, which is a newsboy, I suppose, is kind of, it's not really, it's a bit archaic at this point. Anyway, yeah, nice construction by Ella Dershowitz, and a nice solid theme. So we were able to infer after Newsies what was going on, and then use that to just help push the puzzle along. I don't think I ever jumped straight to these from one or two crosses, but once we had, I don't know, half or more of the theme word, we could jump to the rest of it, and that was kind of a nice feeling. Anyway, that's that for today's puzzle. So let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. I think I'm just going to do a couple of these and then move on, because I think I have to get going soon. But Michel McBride Charpentier has a correction of the correction. He says, Alt Escape does switch windows. Try it again. You may not have noticed if the windows aren't overlapping, because it just changes the active focus without bringing up a menu like Alt Tab. Sorry to continue a comment from one puzzle ago, but as someone who loves finding mistakes in the crossword, I must defend them when there are none. So that is entirely fair, Michelle, and after your comment, I did try Alt Escape again, and indeed, I think I maybe didn't have any overlapping windows, like you said, but yes, Alt Escape does switch windows. So there we have it. And the Nemesis 9090 says, I'm very sad you missed 50 across. And I did indeed, in yesterday's puzzle, miss 50 across. And as the Nemesis 9090 points out, the answer was NYT for New York Times, and the clue was something to the effect of all the news that's fit to print sloganeer. And yes, that is the famous slogan, the famous tagline of the New York Times, which is printed on the front page of all of its newspapers. And sorry about that. Thank you for pointing it out. I wouldn't even realized I missed it without that comment. So thanks for that. And thanks to everybody who left a comment. Thank you to you for watching this video. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday puzzle. And perhaps we take a little bit of a step up in difficulty. I hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.